Mr. Booker, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
First, congrats on the shoes,
Thank you.
on the book ones. Curious with you in terms of, Matty Ishbia just came up and said that you guys have the best team in the league. What's it mean to have an owner have that kind of confidence going into a season?
I mean, it means a lot. I mean, he's a player first, so he understands the game. He's been around the game. He has championship pedigree, and back in the great state of Michigan, we have some we have some connection there.
Chris being traded, and obviously DeAndre, you played with them, got to a finals with them, build relationships with them. What's it like knowing that you won't have those guys, but on the other side, getting a Bradley, getting a Nurkic on that end?
Yeah, man, I don't even like to say that in the same sentence because not only those guys, even before that, Mikal and Cam, everybody that was a part of historic part of this franchise. Trades are the hardest part of this business, because I know me personally, I'm so invested, but, just understanding that, people might be in a better situation. I seen DeAndre get to Portland. He had a big smile on his face, and, even when we shook hands before he walked out after the trade, you could tell his energy was, a new opportunity, new momentum. So that's all you can ask is that they're in a better situation, they continue to flourish and get better. But yeah, like I said, the hardest part of the business is that. But those guys have done things for this organization, and that will never be forgotten.
Lastly, was curious in terms of James was here, and I asked him about you being a playmaker, having the ball more, and he said, "Well, Devin's not going to complain about having the ball more." So my follow to that is, how are you feeling about being in that role of you've done it before, but it may be on a bigger scale with this group?
I just go out there and play basketball, man. Take the best available shot, and understanding the artillery that we have with us. So all these guys make the game easier for me, and I understand that. So we all have to be aggressive at the same time. So finding that balance, and I'm sure we'll pick up on it quick once we get in training camp and start bumping a little bit.
Book, Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports. Good to see you all. Echo the congratulations on the shoes. Very cool deal for you, man.
Thank you.
You and Kevin, I'm sure as soon as the season ended, were chomping at the bit to get after it. You've been seen spending a lot of time with him this summer. Just how much have you two been in dialogue and just talking about whether it was the Bradley deal, this deal, the shape you see the team in, and just how eager you guys are to make up for the way the last season ended?
I'm just excited to see our relationship continue to grow. As everybody knows in here, I was a fan first, and I've always looked up to KD, and to be here firsthand now and get to spend time and grow that relationship is, it's a full circle moment in life, and we have a great deal of respect for each other, and we continue to push each other. I know he's always in the gym. He doesn't take a rep off. He doesn't take a day off. So those are the type of people I like to be surrounded with. And, we have the same interests. So, off the court is always a good time.
Hey, Devin, David Brandt from the AP. You're kind of a veteran now, and there's been a big debate in the league about rest versus injuries and different things like that. What do you think about sitting out games for rest or if that's needed or just that whole trend?
It's a conversation that's been, talked about for years. I don't really look into it that much. Guys deal with different things. Guys deal with different injuries, and, who am I to tell them to play if you're 60% and end up going out there and do something worse to yourself and, jeopardize a contract or that such. So it all just depends on everybody's situation, and that changes person to person. So, me personally, I want to play every game that I'm healthy.
Well, and just one short thing, I know the answer to this probably, but if you could play in Paris this coming summer, would you want to?
I'll do it.
Hey, Book, Gerald Bourguet, PHNX over here down in front. Congrats on the shoe.
Appreciate it.
I'm just curious because you're the only son that's left from the finals team 2 years ago. You've played on a lot of different rosters with a lot of different teammates. How exciting is it to add a guy like Bradley Beal and start the process of getting to know all of the other new guys that are coming in?
I mean, it's really fun. Brad's somebody I've had a great deal of respect for a very long time through competition, and me first coming into the league in 2015, and him, being one of the best, if not the best, two guard. It was always competition. I always kept up with his games, even though he was in the Eastern Conference. If I didn't watch one of their games, I was checking his box score. So, he's somebody that I've watched closely for a really long time, and I don't take it for granted that I get the chance to hop in workouts and compete against each other in practice, and all of us get better at the same time.
Book right here, Doug Haller with The Athletic. After last year's playoff exit, there were a lot of variables there. Not having a lot of time with Kevin. Chris Paul got hurt. DeAndre got hurt. After you guys were eliminated, did you go into the offseason thinking that you guys needed to make major roster changes to take the next step?
I mean, I think you can't disregard, how well the Denver Nuggets played either. Even everything that we dealt with, you could say the time spent together, like the Nuggets played their ass off through the whole playoff. So, they're the front runners right now. So everybody else has to try to catch them and knock them off the throne. But, I'm excited to obviously have the team at the start of training camp and get acquainted with the guys and, get everything situated.
Hey, Devin, over here, Jordan Spurgeon, Sports 360 AZ. When Bradley Beal was introduced, he talked about how hot it is in the Valley and that he knew that you go up north to Flagstaff a lot. Did you guys get a chance to take a trip together or anything along those means? He was looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
You
Waiting
telling
on
him
the
it's
fall.
better?
We're waiting on the leaves to turn over. Yeah,
So really get down the low 50s, 40s,
that's what
away
I'm
from
looking
the 80s.
for.
Okay.
Fresh air.
D-Book, Michael Euro, Yahoo Sports. Kentucky just reloaded with freshmen Rob Dillingham and DJ Wagner. What do you think about them and what they can do this season?
Them guys are go-getters. Shout out Tyler Eulis, too, one of my close friends. He's on staff with Coach Cal right now, so he keeps me updated with everything that's going on in Lexington, and those are the two names that he's super excited for. And I worked out with Dillingham, me and Chris did, because he played for CP3 for a minute, and I've known Little Wagner since he was a kid. I've been hearing about him. So, I'm excited to see where their careers go. Hopefully they can bring a championship to Lexington, and I'll be watching those guys closely the rest of their careers.
Devin, Richard Sines here, Fox 10. Good to see you. When Bradley Beal, signed with you guys, got traded with you guys, he talked about playing meaningful games, here, playing for a team that's going to be in the mix. There were times where, you were on a team that wasn't in the mix, and now you are. How can you relate to what he's going through and the excitement he must be feeling to be here with you guys?
Situation's a little different because I think they had early success. I think they went to the Eastern Conference Finals when it was him and John. And, to have that, taste of playoff basketball and then it be taken away would probably be a much more hurt than what I had to go through. I came into a rebuilding franchise and I was a young player that, I got opportunity. And, I wouldn't trade that for anything as you're a young player. I was just thrown into the fire to figure it out. And now we're at the point where, it's time to win, and that's all that matters. So I can only imagine how he felt from getting that experience and then begin the rebuild phase. Like, I know he didn't sit well with him.
Book, this is Dave King with SB Nation, Brightside. You're going to be handling the ball a lot this year. There's not a true point guard on the team. I know you're going to share the work with Kevin and Brad, but you've had the ball handling duties at different times in your career, and it can be really, a burden physically for a full game being the point guard. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about how, you're going to be able to deal with that extra pressure?
Not really. Like I said, I just go out there and take what the defense gives me. Not at one point of a game do I ever feel tired or feel like there's a workload. Usually the next day maybe, but it's just hoop, and I have a lot of help around me to take a lot of pressure off, and I've been in different situations before where, there was a lot more on my shoulders.
Greg Moore, Arizona Republic, right next to Dave. What's up, Book?
What up?
Nothing much, man. What's it feel like, man, that you've kind of arrived now, right? Like, you haven't won the championship, right? Yeah, we know, but you're not an up-and-comer anymore. You're not somebody who's next anymore. It's your time now. What does that feel like to be at that stage of your career?
I felt like I've been there, honestly, since '96. That's when I arrived. Yeah.
We'll do two more.
Book, Luke Liddon here with 12 Sports right here. I'm curious, how was your off season? What was your favorite part of the off season? And at what point mentally do you switch that gear to get back in the flow of preparing for a season and getting into that mindset?
Always preparing for it, always thinking about it, but, I did get some time away. I love to travel. I love to experience new things and new cultures. That's how I feel like I continue to learn. So spent some time in Europe, and that's always a great time. But, the shifting in the mind never really changes. It's always hoops for me. And even when I'm on those vacations, I'll look around and be like, I got to keep hooping if I want to live this lifestyle. So definitely a way to get inspired. It's traveling and experiencing new things for me. But, yeah, I'm always locked in.
Devin, this is Dana Scott from Arizona Republic. How you doing?
Good. How you feeling?
Good, man. Just wondering, last year you played a lot of minutes in the playoffs with Kevin, and you had to handle a lot of scoring load. Of course, we have Brad now. How confident do you feel with having that load a little bit taken off and pressure, including with this new bench that you guys got?
Yeah, I'm ready to get to it. And I think that's the common theme through everybody. Top to bottom, we're ready to get after it. We know how much talent we have, and we know it's not going to be easy at the same time. So, just hold each other accountable, keep competing at a high level, and I think it's a domino effect from everybody. Once you see KD or Brad getting after every day in practice, it just, how am I going to be the one not to? And I think everybody feels that same way.
Thank you, Devin.
Appreciate it.